Alright, it's been a bit since I did my what was it, monthly shit where I just ramble about Destiny crap. Right now it's almost like what, less than a week since the Bungie 30th anniversary thing is. I haven't pre-ordered it. I haven't pre-ordered anything regarding Witch Queen. I guess it's really just to talk about it a little bit. And the reason why I haven't pre-ordered it. So first things first, money isn't an issue, right? It's not that I can't afford to spend, what is it, 25 or 100 for deluxe. Money is the point. It's money is an issue for me. That's not the issue, right? It's more of the getting the value. Like, did I feel like my money was well spent? Like, for instance, like I'm pretty sure everyone's bought something that's like cheap, like $5 or something. Like, oh, well, I feel like kind of wasting money, kind of feel bad about it. Like, you know what I mean? So that's why, like, I don't think it's necessarily the cost because, like, again, you can buy a full price game for like $25 or something, and then you can be like, oh, well, see this compared to, like, you know what I mean? You can not technically apple to apple, but you get the point. It's not really the price. It's like does the content justify the price, in my opinion, in most people's opinion. That's why you buy crap because you're like, okay, well, that's why I buy DLC. Like, okay, well, I want more content, or this is good content for me, so I'll buy it. Anyways, the point is, um, one thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way. It I don't think I've ever played a game where you have to pay to participate in an anniversary event. Every game I can think of, it is literally free. Warframe, like, I know that's a free to play game and has like monetization stuff, but like you can legit you get the items, you get the dex items with the catalyst with a weapon slot for free as long as you do the missions, right? Apex, even though the anniversary event kind of like is about the skins and stuff, there's still like little game modes and stuff that you still participate in, right? That's a free to play game. Um, what else? Like, what else has like, I don't know. Even Halo Infinite with its shitty monetization system, like there wasn't really an event for the anniversary, but you got free items. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't have to pay. Like, they didn't lock like that one platinum, that one like traditional green. Like, I think it's sage green or something. That one color that you get. You don't have to buy. You have to pay to get into it, right? I legitimately, like, off the top of my head, I cannot think of any game I've played where the anniversary event costs money to participate in. And I know you can justify, well, it's a six-player activity, dungeon, fine, whatever. You want to justify that way. I'm just saying, like, from just as a person who plays games throughout their lifetime, like, it just that's just kind of weird to me. That's one thing. Other thing too is, what exactly are we getting? Now, I understand not wanting to spoil people, but Bungie usually gives you a good idea, quote unquote, for what you're buying. Like, it's especially with, like, the big expansions, like for Beyond Light, I guess. Like, okay, well, Beyond Light they're a little tight, but you know what I mean. Like, for the most part, there is like, okay, well, there's a campaign, there's this and this and this. As far as I know, there's no description of what the hell the six-player activity is. Now, I'm saying this a week ahead. They could like today drop a trailer explaining it, so I don't know yet. But I think it's kind of annoying that they're waiting so late to, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking it one of two ways. Either because Bungie has like a habit now of like releasing trailers after the thing has started. So they're either going to release the trailer on the day of or after or before. They can release it whenever, but I'm saying you already have, like, it's basically like the last week, right? I mean, you can still buy it, I'm assuming, and I don't know if you can still get that $100 bundle or whatever. But the point is, it's just like it seems really late to, like, and there's still no information. All you know is the six-player activity, like something of Realms of Eternity. Like, that's all you know. No one is it like, Menageries, like the Sundials, another one of those horde mode six-player activities, like Battleground. No one knows. Um, the dungeon, that's another thing too, where I can understand they don't want to talk too much about it because that's like the point. Like, playing Prophecy Blind was really like one of one of my two most favorite experiences. Destiny was playing Prophecy Blind, like playing all the dungeons blind were really fun, and then playing Presage Blind, like the secret missions blind. Those were really fun as well. So, like, I can understand that. And honestly, I'm not knocking the quality of the dungeons because, in my opinion, all the dungeons are well made. I just hate Prophecy because the fucking inconsistent lighting and taking our ass. But, like, it's still a good dungeon. Like, I don't, I mainly do it for the weapons, but it's like I don't. I hate Prophecy, but it's not bad. It's not a bad piece of content. Like, you know what I mean? And plus, it's free too, so that's another bonus for anyone. So I'm not doubting the quality. Like, that's the one thing, like, I'll give them on that. Like, I'm not doubting the quality of the dungeon. I know that's not a really good thing. That's like, blind. I get it, but it's just as far as I'm aware, all you have is a 6-player activity that no one knows anything about. A dungeon that has Galahorn as the reward and some Thorn armor, and that's it. Because apparently all the cosmetics and stuff are rolled into the bundle, so when you buy, you get all this stuff unlocked. That's what I've been heard. That's like my issue. I don't know, right? Another like thing that I am confused on, and I don't know if this is like a greedy thing or not, is that the unlike Seasons, the 25th anniversary pack does not follow the rules of crossplay. Like for instance, it's already been established that the big DLCs like Forsaken, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, all those stuff, that is per platform. Like for instance, when I moved over to the PC because I play on both platforms, I basically bought the Legendary Edition like a couple months back when it was like super cheap. So I had to basically rebuy all the DLC, right? It was like 40 something bucks. It wasn't actually that expensive. I mean, honestly, did I want to pay for it again? No, but like I said, it's like that's fine because I have friends on PC and they don't, whatever. The point being is that seasons don't follow this rule. Like for instance, I bought this season on PC on the Steam store, and then I can play it on my PlayStation, right? So it's cross-platform. However, the Bungie anniversary event is not cross-platform. It is only you know what I mean, like only per platform. So if I buy it on PC, I can't access it on console, which again isn't as bad now because we have crossplay. For instance, if I have my clan wants to play with me on PC, I can just turn on my PS4 and join party chat, I guess. I still think I don't understand why it's like that. I don't even know. I don't even understand why the big DLC isn't cross-platform. I don't know if that's just like they want more money, I guess. That makes more sense. Or maybe it's a licensing thing of I don't fucking know. But that's another thing that makes me hesitant too, because it's like, okay, well, if I buy it, I can't, I don't have that liberty just to, you know what I mean? Like, what if my PC doesn't work one day or my PlayStation's acting like, I'm fucked. And then like Witch Queen. So I know it's like the generic YouTube thing to say like I'm done with X Games and come back to it. But there are definitely times where I've taken my break from Destiny. Like year one, I took a year break. I bought Shadowkeep like during Season of the Rivals. Like again, another year where I just stopped playing the game. But I think Witch Queen really will be like it. Like I'm not trying to be like, oh, the breaking point. I can't stand anymore. But it's just I'm just like lethargic. I'm just tired of this, like these promises and crap and all this wishy-washy bullshit. And the reason why is that Bungie loves to run their fucking mouth, right? They kept talking shit during the Shadowkeep Vidoc before releasing how Activision ruined the game and Shadowkeep's been the best thing ever and Shadowkeep sucked ass. Same with Beyond Light. Witch Queen, they ran their fucking mouth again. They're saying this is comparable to Halo, to God of War. So I'm holding it to that. And I'm telling you, if it's like Beyond Light, where I'm fucking like we already know it's coming. We already know the light level increase is coming. We know why it exists, the increased playtime, whatever. But I'm saying if it's like Beyond Light, where it egregiously like jumps up like 25, 50 levels every fucking story mission, I'm going to lose my shit. Like I'm not going to finish the story. I'm like that's just retarded. I'm not doing that again. Because the issue with sunsetting and just in general is that I don't know if Bungie realized this, but most people play the core activities. That's why they're called core activities, I know Destiny 1 you can play story missions, but most people find themselves doing strikes, Crucible game, but I mostly just do dungeons, right? But like, for instance, Beyond Light, they sunset a lot of content, and with the big-ass fucking power level increase, you had to stop what you're doing in the story mission, go into a strike Crucible gamer match, get some blues, and then go back. You know what I mean? Like the stop and go. And because there's not like they took out a lot of strikes, but I'm telling you, you keep like if I get another Nessus strike, I'm losing my fucking mind, right? Like you're more often to get repeated strikes, and it just gets stale, right? Like they took out. I think Festering Core was only a year old. Like some of these strikes, like I don't know why they took them out. Well, I mean, I guess you take out the planet, but again, in the case of like Whisper and Outbreak, I'm going off track, but my issue with the whole entire like Whisper and Outbreak mission not coming back, and this is the thing that's really pissing me off, because I am not a gear elitist. If Bungie are like, here, we're gonna give everyone the fucking Outbreak Catalyst and Whisper Catalyst completed, all you have to do is log in. I personally don't give a shit. I have both the Catalysts. I don't care. I think they're great guns. I think people should enjoy them. I like the mission. I like the music of the mission. I like the atmosphere. I like the gameplay, right? I like doing 0 hour. I like doing Whisper mission. They're very fun to me. I had fun doing those missions. And even though I don't think I think I did Outbreak Heroic. Yeah, I did the Outbreak Heroic like once though. That one was really hard. But I did the Whisper Heroic one all the time. That's like on my Catalyst, right? Also, interesting fact: if you did complete the Outbreak Perfected, heroic mission, 0 hour heroic, and you didn't complete the catalyst, you can actually complete it now because I never fully finished the catalyst, like getting all the Siva particles. But like I think a couple months back, I just went to throwaway and it counted. Like I could just kill stuff and it counted for the catalyst. Anyways, back on track. The point is, um, I don't know why they aren't bringing these things back. Hopefully they're bringing them back for the 30th anniversary. Hopefully soon, because they did state that the stuff in DCV will slowly come back into the game. It's been a year now, and Whisper hasn't come back. The Catalyst hasn't come back. The Outbreak Catalyst hasn't come back. Fourth Horseman Catalyst, which I still don't understand why it's even out of the game. You obtain it from legendary lost sectors. We have legendary lost sectors. Just make it a drop. Make it a concurrent drop with a fucking exotic. Do not make it one or the other. I swear to, like, these things are already fucking annoying. But just, you know what I mean? Like I that one I still don't get. But anyways, that tangent's over with. The main thing is that the core playlists are really fucking dry. They took out a lot of shit. Gambit lost. Gambit actually lost fucking maps. And I'm not saying I miss Kel's Grave or anything or Cathedral Scars. But I'm saying Gambit's lost shit, right? And Sunsetting took out a lot of weapons. So again, Destiny felt really dry. And I know a lot of people who left Destiny hasn't come back because Sunsetting exists, right? I think 90% of my vote is just Sunset crap because I can't let it go, or I can, but I'm just whatever. But the bigger point is that with Witch Queen, I know they said it somewhere, but I'm not sure how many strikes they're going to bring. They're going to put into the game, and I'm assuming season Chosen we got Proving Ground, so I'm assuming the seasonal content will also put stuff. But I think they need a massive influx of core activity stuff because it's just fucking boring. You know what I mean? Like I'm currently at the Grandmaster. Like honestly, only thing you really care about right now is like reaching the pinnacle cap and the Grandmaster thing if you want to run Grandmasters. After that, you don't have to do shit. Like I don't have to. There's nothing else for me to do. Like even the pinnacle grind is so fucking boring because all you do are like the same activities. You do your exile challenge, you do prophecy, you do your strikes, you do your crucible. You know what I mean? It's just the same shit, and there's nothing like interesting to do. And I understand with time, like even with Forsaken, like at some point you run through all the story. I understand, but Destiny feels like it runs out of content so fast, and it's not even because you're blazing through it. Like all Beyond Light added was I believe Glassway, and like that's one strike. Like okay, and the actual challenges okay, that's like a maybe at most 15 minutes mission. Like again, I hit this pinnacle cap like maybe a couple weeks ago, and like you can look at my record. I don't play Crucible. I don't play Gambit. I play like maybe some strikes. I mostly do Prophecy for the weapons. I literally like most of my light level came from just grinding Prophecy every week at reset. So the point is, I'm not like a super like I'm not. I've seen people at like 13, 17. I'm not going super hard in this game. I just play the game casually, and it's like there's nothing. There's literally nothing. So anyways, going back to the Echoes of Reality or Realms of Reality, the anniversary event. Again, I'm not. Will I buy it if the content's good? See, this is the one thing where I don't want to buy it. Like, I don't want to pre-order it because like I really want to play the dungeon. I like dungeons. I play all the dungeons. I still need to do my solo flaws of Pit of Heresy. I'm probably gonna actually do that soon. But I love all the dungeons, right? I'm not. I hope that the dungeon isn't gonna disappoint me, right? I really hope so. It's just the real like where is the 25 coming from? Is it coming from the dungeon alone, or is it coming from this new activity? Because again, this costs 2 seasons. This is what, $25? It's 2 seasons and some change. So it's like I don't, like that's what I'm saying. Like the content, compare a season to this event. Like there's more content in the season than this event supposedly. So it's like, and that it's literally $10 compared to 25 or something. So I'm like, okay, you know, um. That's my main issue. Honestly, it's closer to Witch Queen. I think Witch Queen's $40 if you don't. Is it $50? I don't remember. It's like I don't think it's full 60 though. I think it's like 40 or 50. Actually, we can check. It's gonna take me to the PlayStation. Okay, that's the deluxe edition. Okay, it says the deluxe edition's like $80. I know there's a standalone edition. That's probably like 40, probably 50. But the point is, the deluxe is more closer to an actual expansion, like price wise, than the season, and I feel like it has less. I know it's gonna have less content than expansion, but I like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where the issue of do I feel like it's worth my money type deal, right? Again, I always hope I'm wrong. Like, I don't want this game to suck ass. I don't want to fucking. I would love, I would love to be so happy with the game that I'll just blindly throw money at it. Like, I would love to be in that state, but I just don't. It's just been disappointment at one after another, you know. Um, so yeah, again with Witch Queen, I really think that's gonna be like, you know, the end for me. If it's not like, here's the thing. People say, well, what you expect Forsaken level stuff, but they had, High Moon and Vicarious Visions, I believe. Like they had two studios in conjunction with Activision, all those, and it's like, oh, you expect that level of content. I think Forsaken was like the best era of Destiny in my opinion. It was super fucking fun. I know the seasons were kind of annoying. Like I know Black Army had its problem season. I'm not gonna pretend like the Forsaken era was the best thing ever. Even Opulence had its problems right at the very beginning. But at least with the Forsaken, just content and campaign, it added so much stuff, so much fun. Very fun. Beautiful map, streaming city, still my favorite place to go to. Tango Chora, really nice place. Good music, stuff like that. I get that having that expectation isn't realistic, but I would argue that you shouldn't you expect the best, right? This is Bungie we're talking about, right? Bungie. I understand maybe not the original people made it, but they have that prestige to them, right? Like this isn't some small indie company that no one knows of, right? This is fucking Bungie. They made Halo, they made Destiny, like they're gonna make Matter, where the fuck that is. They have the reputation, right? And it's just really fucking disappointing that I have to lower my expectations. Like, because again, the reason why I'm so like keen on Witch Queen, like especially the story, is that they said it's comparable to Halo. Now, if is it comparable to Halo 2 or Halo 5 when it comes to the story, right? Because that's a big difference. It could be a Halo game, it could be a Halo 5 story. Like, but the point is, what I'm trying to say is that it is. I don't think it's unreasonable to expect, not greatness or something. Just expect quality from Bungie. Like I don't know. I don't feel like that's unreasonable. They're a AAA studio. They're literally expanding their office. I know it might not be to work on Destiny, but like they have the resources. Eververse makes a shit ton of money, and you know that for a fact. Another side tangent. I love the defense that like it's a free to play game. They need to make money. First of all, if you argue that before Beyond Light launch, I could agree with you because before Beyond Light launch, they had the Red War, Curse of Osiris, and Warmind DLC on top of all the other like stuff that was in the game. Once they got sunset, that like the new light campaigns literally like talk to Sean Haw, do the Novoda strike, and then do a Nightfall, and then that's it. You're left to the wolves. You can do Crucible, good luck with that. You can do Gamma, good luck with that. And then Prophecy. I think that's it. That's like nothing compared to what they used to have. So I don't even think it's a free to play game anymore. I think it's just on the, you know what I mean? Speaking of free to play, I'm just saying Bungie would have been nice, like hey, early supporters of Destiny 2, like maybe you got a little emblem. I'm not asking for fucking silver. Maybe like a little like hey, you stuck by us, here you go. Some games I know do that. Um but that's even like that's not a real point. I don't give a shit when the game went free to play. Although I will find it funny that a lot of free to play games face the cheater problem. Even Halo Infinite starting to have cheater problems because go figure when there's no paywall, people really don't care if they get banned because then they can just make a new account. Especially in a game like Halo or Apex, where like the only real content is the skins. Like, cause like in Destiny you have weapon rolls and crap like that. So getting banned in here would hurt a lot more because weapon rolls do matter. They do. Compared to like Apex, like oh whatever, let's make a socket counter. Hey, yeah, Halo. Um, yeah, like I think it's weird because again, in the case of Bungie, they still have Bungie money. I don't think they have the rights to Halo anymore. I don't believe they. I think 343 it is, but they had Bungie money. Obviously, Eververse makes a killing. That's why they keep restocking it. You already got pre-order. Like there's that poll I think Forrester did. There's like I can't remember, but I think it was like maybe 20 something percent of people already pre-ordered the Witch Queen Deluxe bundle, which was like $100. Like like they're making money. I think if the game was going to crash and like if they were running like paycheck to paycheck, I think it would be more apparent. Um, but yeah, I think they're doing comfortably well. Again, I have no idea, but it's just like just based off what we know. Um, anyways, yeah. So like, find another Halo Infinite thing. Another thing with Halo Infinite is because the monetization's like it's actually worse than Destiny. Like I'll actually concede that point. Like at least with the season pass, right? You can the free track doesn't really have that much rewards, but it is pretty easy to level up. You have your bounties, you have the ghost mod, this thing, blinding light. You have ways to easily gain experience, right? It's not like Halo where you're locked to doing. It's not like the seasonal challenges are the only. Oops. It's not like the seasonal challenges are the only way to like level up your battle pass. In Halo Infinite, that's the exact way. The only way to level up your battle pass is by doing like challenges like these. But the ones in Halo are like super annoying. They have toned it down a bit, but it's like because there's no cut, game browser. For instance, I had a challenge where I had to win stronghold matches, so that means I had to play quick play and hope I get a stronghold match, then win. It's like okay. Anyways, that's my Halo Infinite rant. Gameplay's still solid. Again, it's fucking. I hate the gaming industry sometimes, man. Nothing's fucking Sega anymore. You can't have a good game anymore. Day one patches have to be a thing. Everything has to be a live service game. I blame Destiny, by the way. Destiny has fucked not solely, but Destiny has set the fucking standard as games as a live service can thrive even though they're ass. Like Division had a shitty launch, Destiny had a shitty launch. This was like 10 years back. These games should have fucking died on arrival. Like every time a game had a shitty launch, like early 2000s, done. There's no fucking saving that shit. Maybe some exceptions, but like I remember back in my day where shit was just worked on the first fucking day. Maybe there's a patch later down the line because some shit broke or something's overpowered. But DLC came like a year after the game was like done. You know, it wasn't already pre-planned out, and it's like Jesus Christ. Yeah, modern gaming sucks ass. The monetization they started leaning towards Battle Pass because I remember everyone remembers loot boxes and how much that fucking gambling, literally gambling. But anyways, I'm getting off track. The point is, even Halo Infinite, it's such a fun game, but it's like marred with like basic fucking problems. Like, oh, all these game modes that have been in every fucking Halo game don't have. I know it's technically a beta, but I'm telling you, on the 8th, I seriously doubt that it's gonna have everything that the MCC has. And it's like Jesus Christ. Again, like, and then you look at the MCC, where like that's like almost like not like perfect, but it's really a really fair system. You have the challenges aren't that annoying, and then you get the armor, all the stuff for free. Infinite's the exact opposite. You have to pay for fucking everything. Even the event. The event is basically bringing back a game mode that was like again a staple game mode, not a staple, but like a game mode that you could search for, like was it Action Sack or just I think it's just a party game mode, Fiesta. Like now that's used as a limited game mode and it's not coming back. It's like okay, why are you taking away Fiesta? It's been part of Halo, right? Um, and long story short, modern gaming sucks. Nothing can ever release fucking perfect. Like not even perfect, but just like without an egregious flaw. Like Halo is fine until you look at the battle pass. Destiny's fine until you look at the monetization and the shit they take out. And it's like okay. But yeah, that's the whole entire pricing rant over. Will I buy the anniversary event? Maybe, like, dude, if there's like Halo Reach armor in it, fuck it. I'll throw $25. Fuck. I love Halo Reach. I'm sorry. That's the only game I know it has flaw, but that's like my first. That's like the not my first person. Like I played Modern Warfare 2 first, but I went to Halo and I played Halo Reach a lot on my friend's Xbox, and then I moved over to Crysis, Dead Space, and Destiny, and then I went back on the MCC to play Halo and all the other games. But the point is, like, if there's some Halo armor in there, I might consider it, man, because fashion. That's why the Battle Pass is so like hated in Infinite because it's like a thing, right? People like to look good in real life or in a video game. And while you say, oh, I know there's some people that don't care. They don't care how they look. But I think a majority of people care. Because, like, look at me. I pick my Hunter armor because I like the way it looks. Like, I know it's like a generic look. Everyone uses a set. But I'm saying, like, in the case of this, or like, people choose armor even if they can't see it because it kind of represents, like, their style, what they like, right? And that's the same thing with Halo. That's why everyone loves the Reach because you could literally customize like a million different ways or something, right? You can make Spartan look exactly how you want it to. Um, so yeah, it's like also you literally have to buy colors. You can't. The color wheel isn't free anymore. Kind of like Warframe. Well, Warframe was always like that, but Halo wasn't. Um, Anyways, I could go on a little tangent about Infinite too. Another argument, they're like, oh, well, technically, the colors, when you paid for the full game, that $6 gave you the color. I'm like, okay, motherfucker, when I pay for the fucking campaign on the 8th, am I magically going to get all the colors and choose whatever I want? No, so, like, okay. Anyways, that's enough Halo. Back to Destiny. I guess I can talk about the ability tuning TWAB, because it's like another thing where I hate to perpetuate the thing where, like, PvP fucks over PvE, but it's starting to lean back towards there because I think what a lot of people neglect to point out is this reminds me of the shotgun change in Destiny 1, right? So the TWAB is basically a whole bunch of ability balances, and a lot of them do not affect PvE, right? A lot of them are just getting buffed, like Shadow Dive's getting buffed in PvE, like by massively. But there's the cooldown reduction now. Now that is what is going to affect both sandbox. Like for instance, in Destiny 1, shotguns near the end, I think year 3 or 4, they all shotguns except for Chaperone, because that's the only select shotgun at the time, had the precision damage removed. So you can no longer hit like yellow crit. And I know the precision damage wasn't high on shotguns, but it did make certain shotguns like, extend their damage out further because they could hit headshots. So they removed it completely from the game. To compensate the PvE side, they gave them a 20% damage increase, which is like, okay, like, so to bring it back to Destiny 2, as far as I'm aware, some abilities are getting their base cooldown, which is tier 3, doubled. Like I think a flux grenade. Can I get the? I don't even know. Like basically tier 3. Like right now I'm at tier 4. The way they said the game calculates all the stats at tier, the baseline would be tier 3, right? Because if you're below that, they count that as like a negative, like below average stat or something. So like yeah, for instance, my melee that's tier 3, right? This is what the game considers the baseline cooldown for strength right now. Um, and with the patch coming out in a week, this will change. Um, so like for instance, Flux Grenades is getting like it's a one-shot sticky like a Plasma Nade, but it's getting like double the cooldown. So this does affect PvE because I've read everywhere like I don't. They even say to compensate PvE, we've increased the grenade damage by 15%. Here's a fun little quick thought experiment. Let's say you got a grenade, right? It does 100 damage, comes back every 30 seconds. Um, so in a minute, you can throw a 2, you do 200 damage. Okay, well let's say we double it now, so now it comes back every minute, but it does 15% more, so it does 115 damage. So what does more damage? The one grenade you throw every minute that does 115, or the 2 you throw every 30 seconds that do 100 each, totaling to 200, right? Like it's still a pretty big nerf to ability regen in PvE, which I mean, the reason why a lot of people hated Destiny 2 Year 1 is that because of quote unquote Crucible balance, it really gutted the power fantasy. And a lot of games, even like Battlefield, right? Battlefield's having this whole entire issue because one, it's unstable shit, but two, it's trying to copy other games and not be its own thing. Like I play Battlefield to play Battlefield. I don't play Battlefield to play Call of Duty, right? I play Destiny to play Destiny. I don't play Destiny to play Halo. Um, and while I agree certain abilities have to be tuned down, like fucking Shadow Dive and other things, I feel like they're trying to make the game less Destiny, if it makes sense, right? Because Destiny is a combination of the exotics, the abilities, the power fantasy, and also like. But again, I'm not saying like, there should never be balance. Crucible should be like fucking Forsaken Era, One-Eyed Mask, and Radiant Dance Machines like it was in this season. Like, no, I'm saying I understand that, but I feel like they're going really hard in that department. Which I mean, again, I don't play Crucible, and now to fulfill my PvP like needs, I play Halo. So honestly, at this point, I don't care. But I just toward the PvE side, it's kind of like I don't know how it's gonna work out. I'm assuming with tier 10, it won't be as bad, especially if you're like I use Sunfire Furnace almost exclusively on my Titan, so I probably won't notice the difference. But it's just an interesting thing to think about. And I think that's it. I might have had something else to say, but I don't know. Oh, right, homogenization, right? I know Luke Smith isn't really the game director, but he did say something interesting about how the issue that one, super defining super IP defining supers, right? Like Nova Bomb, and we might take away Nova Warp because it's not IP defining, right? I find it interesting that his complaint was the homogenization of classes, or to be more frank, that the classes feel the same. Like they kind of step over each other's toes, like Well, Radiance and Bubble, even though I know you can't shoot through a bubble, but you know what I mean. Um, so I find it interesting the Void 3.0 rework. I have a slight fear because personally, I don't like these perk blocks. Like you grow accustomed to them because it's been like fucking like 6-7 years since we had these. And the first second ones are kind of like a scam because like the first perk is literally just your super, and the second perk is just your melee. It's like okay, well then the other two perks do whatever. Um, I much prefer Destiny 1's system where you had like a list of thing modifiers and stuff. But for the most part, like you kind of grow accustomed to the perk boxes. And my issue is that to to obtain what we have before, we might have to like make some sacrifice. Like, what if uh because again, I don't think they've talked about like aspects like new aspects like the little mini black hole, but they haven't talked about like existing perks. Because my biggest fear is that it's gonna be like stasis in the fact that nothing really differentiates stasis from each other outside of the fucking super and the aspects. Like, you know what I mean? Every stasis thing has the same fucking fragments. Every stasis subclass has the same fucking grenades. The only difference is the super and then your aspects. And it's like that's it. Like, I mean, and you can argue like aspects are radically different. Like, I know because hunters can shadow dive, even though Titans can kind of do the same thing with their slide. It's like okay, it's different. Diamond Lance, okay, fine. And it's like a more convoluted ice flare bolts. Like the point is, I feel like Stasis is more homogenized than any of the subclasses, light based subclasses in the game. And my biggest fear is that the light subclass rework will do that even more. Um, because I kind of like the idea, because it hasn't really been embraced in this game, but I like the idea that like each class has a role, right? Like the hunters are agile, titans are tanks, warlocks are like in the middle, they're healers and stuff. And you kind of see now some exotics like Icefall Mantle, even though it's ass, like okay, it's like a little tank exotic, right? Lumina, Boots of the Assembler on warlock, okay. Invisibility stuff with the hunter, Mask of Back, like I I don't think I think it'd be more interesting if the class were more defined, but I feel like with the subclass rework they might be more like states where it's just the same shit except for your super. And I hope the super, like you can just choose your super, it's not actually just an aspect. Like you know what I mean? Like my biggest fear is like for let's look at the I don't know, like bottom tree, right? You got Vanish and Smoke, Combat, whatever, Mobius Quiver, and Lockdown, or whatever. My biggest fear would be like, what if? Hopefully, Moby's Quiver isn't like it's just over here and you can choose it. But what if Moby's Quiver is this, or what if Vanish and Smoke is like you actually I think Vanish and Smoke would be a selectable melee. It'd be weird if that was an aspect or a fragment. You know what I mean? But like I said, my biggest fear is like having stuff that's already available, just like thrown into a system where we can't choose it anymore. Like for instance, like what if Lockdown and what was the other one? Was it Resupply? The one that gives you grenade energy, like Mobius Quiver, Combat Provision. Yeah, what if like Combat Provision and Lockdown were like aspects, right? Or fragments. And depending on your aspect, you can no longer use those two in conjunction like you could use on the bottom tree Night Stalker, like it is now. Like you know what I mean? But then again, that's kind of like a far-fetched thing. The point is, what I'm saying is like I'm kind of worried that they are going towards the stasis route where everything is the same. Again, I just want the Destiny One system back, dude, where you just had you had like a list of things. You had a fucking jump, you had your modifiers, you had your melee, you had your modifiers, you had your thing. I think subclass perks kind of serve a unique purpose where they kind of give you a defined role, and I think if there's a way to implement that, like you could have your more advanced subclass tuning, or if you're like, okay, well, I'm not really sure, like for a beginner, someone who just really doesn't care, can have like a pre-made loadout, like loadouts in Destiny, like a pre-made subclass loadout, so they don't have to, constantly like tune and stuff. But that's whatever. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Like the system will be great, but whatever. Anything else? I have a fucking complaining because I've been going on for a pretty long fucking time, like half an hour. Um, Armor affinity sucks ass. Everyone knows that. Like they introduced stasis, I don't think I have a yeah. Like they introduced stasis stuff, and it's like okay, well stasis stuff's actually pretty good. And, like this young Ahamkar spawn I have, now I want it to be stasis so I can get fucking grenade kickstarts instead of whatever the hell I have on there, impact reduction, right? Oh, bows have finally became the Monarchs finally become mainstream. Oh well, it's gonna get nerfed probably. My issue with the PvP people is that there are a lot of interesting and niche playstyles that are actually pretty viable in endgame, but again, most people go to the old reliable like the hand cannon shotgun stuff. Um, and it gets kind of annoying when people adopt a certain playstyle because of a certain like cheese with it, and then it gets kind of nerfed into the ground. Like for instance, sidearms in Destiny 1. Not people didn't really use them. I love them, but people didn't use them because they're sidearms. People used them because they were special ammo guns, and they started off with special ammo, so they could switch to another gun to get basically free special ammo, right? Bows are like that in the way where people only really using them because Le Monarch or just a bow quick action sling and then another weapon with quick draw to do like the point two whatever time to kill, right? And now everyone's abusing Le Monarch and now it's probably gonna get nerfed. Chaperone, again, in my opinion, it's like always been like one of the strongest weapons in the game. And I've always told my friends and my claimants, like, I fear the day when Chaperone becomes meta because it's going to be a fucking nightmare. And look where we are now. Everyone uses Chaperone and it's a fucking nightmare. Chaperone has never changed. It's always been the way it has. And now because it became mainstream, everyone's using it and it's really a fucking, you know what I mean? Like there's certain guns that are like, I hope this doesn't become meta because it'll be a fucking nightmare. Le Monarch was one of those. Chaperone was one of those. Certain sidearms that I do not want to name will, like, I am afraid that people are gonna realize how good trick sleeves are in a 1v, like, especially in the trials. Like in 6v6 they're not as good technically because there's a lot of people flying at you, but in a 1v1 these things, especially if you purposely proc them, will fucking delete people. Like I have won 1v3s because of this in trials. Like I'm not even shitting you. It's probably, I probably should upload that shit somewhere on my computer, but the fucking Nvidia doesn't record sound for some reason. But the point is, there are a lot of niche but good weapons that, like, again, it's a niche because it's not good all the time, but when it works, it fucking works. Like Young Ahamkar's fine, another underrated exotic that I think is really good, and I hope it doesn't catch on because it's really fun to throw people off the trip mines. Oath Keepers, by the way, again, most people dismiss it, say, oh, this is just a training wheel exotic for bows. I think people underestimate the power of having a fully drawn bow and hip fire with max mobility, or I don't know, a La Monarch that always has his poison arrow prime because he didn't do a perfect draw. I'm just saying because I like to use different shit. I like to experiment. I don't like to use the same fucking 3 weapons everyone else uses, right? Like I'm a contrarian hipster fag. Remember that? That's my thing. It's just it is part hipster in me because like all these people are bandwagoning, but at the same time it's like, please don't expose it because I know Bungie's gonna nerf it and it's not, and then you're like Locust, you're just gonna move to something else and then my baby's it's fucking dead. Like bows, I'm telling you, man, people value hand cannons because they're peak shotting potential. Bows put out like special damage type fucking damage on a primary weapon. A bow headshot is comparable to like a fucking adaptive frame sniper body shot, or in some cases an aggressive frame body shot. Like it's. Because again, in high-end PvP or just in PvP in general, doing a lot of damage, even if you die, means a lot because your teammates can easily clean up. And if they're using a snowball perk like Rampage or Kill Clip, that allows them to slay out further and yada yada yada, slippery slope argument. I'm just saying, like, I don't want my bows to be nerfed. They're actually getting buffed a lot in PvE, which is, I'm surprised people don't like them. I love using bows in PvE. I think they're great. They kind of fulfill what a hand cannon used to be like for me in Destiny 1, where it's just like I shoot an arrow and something just dies and I can move on to the next target. I don't have to worry about it. Like they're not all like if it's a pack of Thrall, like, oh, bows kind of suck unless you're using Trindigul, which is definitely gonna get nerfed. I know this is gonna get nerfed because of PvE. I know it is. Like I could feel it. But yeah, that's okay. That's my Destiny ramble before the event. Again, here's hoping that I'm wrong. Here's hoping Witch Queen's the best expansion ever, better than Forsaken. Here's hoping the anniversary event is actually really good. I'm not saying it sarcastically. I'm not trying to like jinx. I like, it's like you fools. Give me a reason to spend my money on you. I don't want, you know what I mean? Like I would love to like, go play this game like I used to, where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get home from school or work and just fucking spend like 8 hours or something, or stay up until midnight playing Destiny like a responsible adult, right? It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, I'm not like, just give me a reason to spend money on your fucking game. Like, there you go. That's my message. There you go. That's it. Thanks for watching.